Hello again, basketball fans. I'm Rick Kamla, and this is Game Time. There's a two-day break until the NBA playoffs return on Saturday night, so let's get you caught up. Golden State wins Game 1 behind 65 points from KD and Clay. Harden had 41, but Gordon and Tucker combined for just 16 points. Game 2 went to Houston as Gordon and Tucker combined for 49 points. Harden had a double-double, and the Splash Brothers were held to 24 points on 10 of 30 shooting. In the East, Game 1 went to Boston in a blowout. 3 Celtics topped 20 points. Tatum was a plus 27, and LeBron was held to just 15 points. LeBron rebounded with a 42-point triple-double in Game 2, but all 5 Boston starters reached double figures, including 23 from Jaylen Brown. And let's take a look back at the East Finals to this point.
LeBron James likes to say his success is nothing more than a product of the work he puts in. Well, he got to the Garden early.
Can't wait to see how the Cavaliers respond.
Champions do ordinary things better than everybody else does. Do everything that we've set out to do, but everything else will work itself out.
LeBron James got to take the bull by the horns. Look to be aggressive early. He's a different player, and they're a different basketball team when he has that mindset. James falling away, a 3. Oh, it's good! LeBron James, 19 points already.
Keep cutting, keep moving, keep making it as tough as possible, keep competing. Here we go.
Tatum gets past Nance. Scoop layup is good. Horford knocks it down. Here comes Rozier, throws it down. This building has exploded. A brilliant second half from the Boston Celtics.
Great comeback. We stuck together and protected home court, what we're supposed to do.
This is the 7th time in LeBron's career that his teams have fallen into an 0-2 hole, but twice they have stormed back to win the series, famously in 2016 in the finals and the 2007 East Finals as well. Earlier on Thursday, Tyronn Lue talked about the Cavs' mindset for Game 3 in Cleveland.
Just because we're home don't mean that, we're going to play well. We got to come out and just take the game. I thought we did a good job in that first half in Game 2. Let it get away from us in the third quarter. So we got to put a full 48-minute game together, which I know we can. Our fans and crowd will be ready to go, and we'll be ready to go also.
I don't really play by, am I getting this many assists, or am I getting this many rebounds, or this many points. I think you guys worry more about that than I do. I just try to play the game, and right now I'm not playing the game the right way. So I got to continue to, watch film, work on my craft, and come out with a whole different mindset Game 3.
Looks like George Hill's taking a little bit of a shot at stat guys like me. Hey, we're joined by champion and all-star Steve Smith. And Smitty, Games 3 and 4 are perhaps LeBron's last stand in Cleveland. So with free agency looming once again, who will that motivate more, LeBron or his teammates?
Well, it has to motivate both, because the way they're losing, you look at it, it's just the momentum of the Boston Celtics. I still have the Cleveland Cavaliers winning this series. Reason why this guy's been phenomenal, Rick. I mean, every question we've had about him is not many. Can he finish games? He doesn't have a finisher right now. There's no D-Wade. There's no Kyrie. He's answered that. I think the next step for him is to get those guys playing hard, which that's going to be tough. I haven't seen that passion from some of those supporting cast. And then for him it's probably doing less on the offensive end, because he's been phenomenal. And I think changing that tone defensively, relieving some of those guys who are not great defensive players. He got to take out Tatum. He got to take out Jaylen Brown. And by the way, it might be different possessions down the court, but he has to do it, because right now those guys are having their way. He's getting his points, but they're still losing.
All right, in Game 2, LeBron and Love combined for 64 points, made 7 of 17 from three-point range, but the rest of the team, Smitty, scored just 30 points and made only 3 of 14 on threes. Is reversing this trend as simple as returning home to the Q in Cleveland?
No, not at all, because what we're seeing right now is more than just them being at home, being comfortable. They are taking away a lot of their strengths, the Boston Celtics. The one good thing for LeBron is Kevin Love is playing. Kevin Love is coming out there giving him some help. But those other guys, they're missing some open shots, but they're not getting a lot of open looks, and I think they're rushing those open looks. They are flat out, the Boston Celtics, taking away those other options right now, and those other options right now can't generate enough offense by themselves.
All right, it is time for On the Road, presented by Nitsa, as we look at the home and away splits for the Celtics in these playoffs. At home, a sparkling 9-0 with a point differential of plus 11.3. But on the road, they're 1-4 with a point diff of -9. Smitty, that is a 20.3 point per game swing in the point diff, home versus road. And Terry Rozier is the individual embodiment of this trend. Do you see him getting it cooking in Cleveland here?
Well, I hope so. You know, obviously he's a young guy who's been forced to be that guy, the point guard, taking over Kyrie, and he's been playing more minutes. But what you love about what he's been doing at home and how he's been playing, you looking at Terry Rozier right now, they are running to him at that three-point line because he's been able to knock it down. Now he's taking their momentum, being able to knock down the mid-range shots. He's been fantastic. Next, this is what I love. He has been relentless at playing kind of a little bit of bully ball at that point guard position. Bledsoe, Hills, going at all these guys and laying it up. And then for me is he has been a decent three-point shooter. He is becoming good. The reason why is he's knocking them off the dribble, and he's also knocking them down off the pass. And it seems like he's hunting the big shot to knock down the three that's putting daggers in a lot of teams.
We've got more on Rozier coming up at Smitty's top 5 under the rim, but the Celtics offense may not travel on the road, at least so far, but their defense sure has.
You know why? It has that anchor in Al Horford. Now, I want to say it again. Al Horford has been fantastic. As you can see, guys get beat. He is there. He is that linebacker. He is checking Embiid, guys that are bigger than him. He's taking LeBron. He's checking smaller guys. He's getting blocked shots. Whatever their need, it starts off with this anchor. And then these young guys with their length, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're filling in. And then they have those two guys that just love to get after you, Rick. They like Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier. They have two guards that get after you. And another thing I like is Baines. When you hit that chest, people are bouncing off.
So let's take a break here. We're just getting started on Game Time. Coming up, the West Finals is tied 1-1, and now with home court advantage, the Warriors return home to host the Rockets Sunday night on TNT. Let's look back at the first 2 games.
Western Conference Finals, very important game 1. You got to get this.
It's a packed house here at the Toyota Center for this highly anticipated series.
Good luck, man. Hey, good luck, man. All right. Hell of a job. All right, here we go. Let's go.
As this series goes on, it's going to be interesting to see what style wins out here.
Harden loves the matchup.
Another 3.
What it's going to look like all series. All right? So stay composed. Keep executing.
Durant, right side to the paint, fade away for 14. Nothing but good.
We're going to break free in this series at some point, and so are you. Just stay with it, stay solid. The floodgates are going to open up for you.
Curry adding to the Golden State lead.
Game 1 goes to the defending champions.
Huge game. Come on the road and get game 1. West Conference Finals, that's big.
The heat wave continues here in Houston, Texas, and Rocket fans hoping that their team heats up on the court.
Let's go, you know it! Let's get it!
Kevin Durant, who had a sensational game 1, gets right back to it here.
Move out here! Move up!
Harden off the dribble and score. Mike D'Antoni said, hey, we know who we are. We're not making any changes tonight. And the Rockets turning the table here, regain home court as they tie this series.
Big win. Yeah, it was a must win today. We did the job. Now we're going to go out there and just do what we do.
We have offensive metrics for the Rockets, whose ISO possessions and passes were virtually identical in games 1 and 2. However, the percentage of shots after 7 seconds on the shot clock dropped to 25% in game 2 and certainly helped them win that game. Here's Mike D'Antoni after that game 2 victory.
We are who we are, and we had to be who we are. We just did it better, longer. Guys believe it, and we're not going to change anything up. It would be silly on my part to panic. I mean, you don't do that. We're very comfortable about who we are, and we can beat anybody, anywhere, at any time, playing the way we play. Now, some people might not like it. You know, hey, sorry.
I like it. That was vintage D'Antoni. And Smitty, the Rockets had 18 assists on 39 made field goals in game 1. but 23 assists on 45 made field goals in Game 2. How were they able to improve in that area?
Well, first of all, I understand the Rockets say they're going to play the same. And obviously you play somewhat of the same, but they did play different. And the reason why they moved the basketball timely. There's a totally difference right now. There's not a lot of dribbling on this play. As you can see, that was a shot. But the ball is moved quickly and bodies are moving. Pump fake, they're not taking as many contested shots. And as you can see, the ball was moved around and they got the basketball to guys and they knocked down shots. Let's also look at the personnel on the floor. 5 guys that can make a play off the bounce and dribble, pass, and shoot. You don't see Clint Capella, unfortunately, in a lot of these clips. You see him on this one. But what they're doing is the ball is hopping around. Yes, it was about the same amount of passes. There was the same amount of all these different things. But it's a totally different, Rick, as you can see right now. If I pass the basketball to you with a guy standing right there, it's still a pass. But if I can get it to you quick and you can make another play, that's a totally different pass, and they did that.
So Harden and Paul needed help to win Game 2, and they got it from Eric Gordon, P.J. Tucker, and Trevor Ariza, who combined for 68 points after totaling just 24 in Game 1. Smitty, what was the key to that dramatic turnaround?
Well, I think first of all is you got to understand these guys can play. I mean, obviously, P.J. Tucker is not a guy that's going to score 20 all the time, but you got to get him the basketball and also make shots if he's going to be wide open. Eric Gordon, I said it before they started the series, is the key. He can flat out score, and we forget Trevor Ariza is a really good basketball player on the offensive end. The reason why I like Trevor Ariza, doesn't take bad shots, so I would try to get him the basketball a little bit more, but they played faster and they went smaller, and defensively they were a little bit better without Clint Capella in that lineup.
Let's talk Steph Curry a little bit here. In the shooting so far through 2 games, he is, as we look at his shot chart here, 2 of 13 from downtown. Although, Smitty, he does have 13 field goals in the paint. Do you credit Houston's defense or blame Curry for missing shots?
Well, I think for me is right now is you got to give them a lot of credit. They are making sure they put pressure on him and not giving him any space and making him drive it. And for me is just watching these games, he's had success driving the basketball, and I think for him is he's going to have to change his thought process and become more of a point guard. You got to beat your guy off the dribble, not take these contested shots. He's doing a nice job finishing, but he's getting beat up finishing. But I think he's got to do more of getting his feet in the paint, kicking, or laying it up. And we all know that will open it up for him and his teammates outside if he can get into that paint.
Talk to me tactically a little bit deeper here about Houston's defense and what they're doing to Steph. You like how physical they're getting with him,
Well,
don't
they've been physical off the ball. If you get a chance to watch the game, especially in Game 2, off the ball, they are beating him up. And I think for him is you can see it's wearing him down. He is having to guard these guys, and Chris Paul is not letting him off the hook, banging him. But even before that, he's checking a guy, and he's trying to bang him, and then he got to switch. And then James Harden is one of the most physical guards. Bigs don't like going up against him. As you can see, he is taking a lot of bumps, and I think it is wearing him down right now. And give Houston a lot of credit. They are switching everything and making and forcing the Golden State Warriors to become playmakers.
Houston was successful at Oracle in the regular season. Can they get it done in the postseason?
Well, I think they're going to have to. I think they can get one. And if they don't get one, then it's a totally different series. The one thing they have to do is your offense comes and goes. They are going to have to rely on defense to be able to win a game in Oracle, in Oakland.
Interesting. Can't wait for these games. In Game 3 of the West Finals comes your way Sunday night at 8 Eastern on TNT. From Oracle Arena in Oakland with our coverage on NBA TV beginning at 6:30 with Game Time. Coming up, it is Smitty's top 5 plays.
Under the rim.
And Jason Tatum gets into the act.
And Simmons and Embiid all willing to score in the paint, especially those first 2. Tatum with a little Smitty goes by Ben Simmons.
Good call. He did the Smitty on him. That's why Steve Smith, that's why it's called the Smitty, because it's Steve Smith.
Friday on NBA TV at 3 p.m. Eastern, it's the EuroLeague semifinals. CSKA Moscow, Real Madrid. Check out Luka Doncic and perhaps his final EuroLeague game, perhaps not, based on recent comments. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's the WNBA tip-off presented by Verizon, the Dallas Wings, and Phoenix Mercury worldwide right here on NBA TV. Rick Kamla, Steve Smith, and it is time for Smitty's top 5 plays.
Playoff edition, under the rim. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. We got some good ones. Let's start off playoff edition, you know, it gets real. They're doing this in money time. I love that graphic. As you can see, we got a lot of people who made it.
A lot of smiles.
A lot of smiles. Not for this guy. I can't even give him a nickname. He already has one. And Bledsoe, wait a second. That old school mop. Don't mop him up like that, Scary Terry. Greg Monroe is enjoying it. Why? Scary Terry is rolling. He made Smitty's top 5 under the rim. Wish I could have had a shot at Drew Bledsoe, but there we go. Chris Paul, Houston's skate instructor.
Who's he getting this time?
Alicia. Good job. Got his hand down in good, perfect position, but watch the feet. Uh-oh, dance.
Oh, no.
There you go.
That's
Chris
unfair.
Paul. He's asking for the foul. He still got that scowl. Good job. You see the big fella's feet? Yes. Tap, tap. Yap, yap. They're moving. Got to turn those feet, young fella.
That's Hall of Famer on non-Hall of Famer crime.
It was bad. Number 4, though. I love this because usually it's James Harden, but it was a little payback from his old teammate. Oh, wait. I saw James Harden jump sideways, Rick. You know that hopscotch?
So is Wesley Johnson enjoying this?
No, not much. I mean, that's just a little bit. It's the playoffs. Good job by Harden. He didn't go down. But that's Kevin Durant. And number 2, the young fella. He did it. He did to Smitty. Jason Tatum. Now, Rick, I need a nickname for him. I got that's all the people. Jason Tatum needs a nickname. I got to find him one. But right now, the young fella against Ben Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
He did it nice.
All right, full Smitty?
That's a full Smitty. A little bit of his own version. Ooh. And then Ben Simmons bite. He stayed right there. Jason Tatum with the Smitty. Number 1, the king. I like that graphic.
Ooh, Game of Thrones thing, huh?
Yeah, this is against the Pacers. Boy, as he's had his way and knocking down big shots. And everybody said, can he finish? He's done it twice. And that's the first one. As you can see, Thaddeus. Come on, Thaddeus. That's all right, Thaddeus. There's the king. That's 1.
He's only one of the all-time greats.
But here's 2. Now, this one was ridiculous. Off the little bounce, little crossover, and that is a tough shot off the glass. And he had to celebrate on that one. There's Kevin Love. I feel bad for OG Anunoby. He did everything he could do, but they should have doubled him. Got to get the ball in his hands, and that's the king. That's the number 1 play, playoff edition.
Times 2.
So,
Smitty, we've been out here for a minute. Okay, early in LeBron's career, the conversation, the narrative was he doesn't make those end-of-game shots. He passes. He's a playmaker before he is a shot maker. That's pretty much washed away, hasn't it?
He's changing the narrative right now in this playoffs. He is that finisher right now, and he still passes. Does a nice job, but now he's starting to finish.
Does LeBron hit a buzzer beater for the win in Game 3?
He's going to first need some wins. Got to get some wins. He got to get a little closer.
You got a little shout-out for help on the Smitty plays?
Well, all my guys, Torrance, Matt Gaines, fantastic job all year long. Appreciate you guys.
Very, very talented people. All right, the finalists for the NBA awards have been announced, and it's down to 3 for MVP. Harden, James, Davis, that, plus the other finalists when game time bounces back. The Milwaukee Bucks named Mike Budenholzer as their new head coach on Thursday. It is a 4-year contract for the former coach of the year, who led the Hawks to 60 wins back in 2014-15, a franchise record. In 5 years with Atlanta, Coach Bud compiled a regular season record of 213 and 197, and the NBA award show on TNT comes your way June 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We are all excited about this show, and the finalists have been announced. For Kia Most Improved Player, Clint Capella, Victor Oladipo, and Spencer Dinwiddie. As we move on to the sixth man nominees, Fred VanVleet, Lou Williams, and Eric Gordon, last year's winner. And Defensive Player of the Year nominees are Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and Rudy Gobert. Great selections right there. Rookie of the Year nominees are 2 obvious guys, and Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell, plus Jason Tatum, who had a really good regular season, and he's taken his game to another level, obviously, here in the playoffs. And now, the big one, MVP.
Complete a basketball player as you couldn't find. on the court. He's always cooking. He's the MVP by a landslide. James Harden is unbelievable.
All right, Smitty, here's a piece of paper.
Okay.
There's a pen. Who are you voting for MVP?
Oh, James Harden in the regular season. James Harden is just
Is it even close?
I don't think it's close. Obviously, LeBron James is fantastic. Anthony Davis had a great push. But consistently, what James Harden did this year and the record of the Houston Rockets, hands down for me, is James Harden.
65 wins, a franchise record. Rookie of the year.
Woo, that's a good one.
Who you got?
You know, you can't throw in the playoffs. Just the regular season, Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons.
But playoffs, totally different.
A rubber